might be some disasters geologically, so we need to make detailed plans of exploration. Our department has conquered different difficulties by stepping up our technological input and manpower input, for example, radar technologies and scanning technologies, so that we can have targeted exploration and screening of the remains. We also have dispatched professionals to be in charge of the surroundings and the pathways leading to the core areas. Now we have discovered and positioning ERT very close to the black box. As to the rescue, we have one person responsible for the family members. Up until 12 o'clock 26, 80 people have been received, and over 500 family members have been met, covering 74 households. And over 478 family members have come to the site for condolences. And we have done evaluation of 700 people, and over 1,800 people have received psychological help. And also pandemic prevention is progressing. We have on-site disinfection and the equipment supplies. We also guarantee one checkup per day about the pandemic situation. Until 10 o'clock this morning, in our surroundings, we have stationed 31 nucleic acid testing sites, and 2,500 people have been tested. Next, I would love to invite Zheng Xi to introduce about the on-site rescue and search situation. I would love to brief you about the certain updates. The firefighting team's main responsibility is to search for any life, and also the second black box and other airplane remains. They will never give up any silver lining or hope. And secondly, according to the command instruction, together with the Natural Resource Department, we are working together with the on-site operators of the heavy machines to search for the remains of the plane and the belongings of the passengers. And for the core areas and the surrounding forests and slopes, we have repeated search. In addition, we have covered about 15 kilometers distance to search for any airplane remains. We dispatched 4 teams to search the surroundings. They took their satellite telephones and drones starting from the core area. They took the motorcade, or they walk on feet. They entered into 大塘角、马地村、芽塘村 village, 顺村 village, 大棒村 village, 乌岸村 village, and 高店村 village. In total, they have searched 7 villages in the surroundings. And the drone has done monitoring. The ultra-red sonic has helped in imaging, so we helped to identify the key positions. And those technologies allowed us to have fine and high-quality modeling. We cover 750 mu piece of land in our search and monitoring work. Right now, for the first batch of firefighters on site, they have worked 6 days around the clock, and different levels of firefighters have been sacrificing themselves to offer guidance online. And the firefighters have searched over 240,000 square meters. And they have also set up the disinfection and washing region to help the on-site workers in the number of 6,000. And they have digged 90 meters long of a dredge, and Because of the temperature decline and other climatic reasons, it's very consuming. So, to keep up the good job, yesterday night, our firefighting station has given another instruction. From Guigang, Laibing, Hezhou, 3 other firefighting teams were dispatched. So 300 other firefighters were dispatched. And this noon, the second batch of firefighters all arrived in Tengxian County. So they will dive into this search work. In those days, the Public Security Bureau, together with the other entities, dispatched 29 teams for on-site rescue, search, and review. They have confirmed the information and identity of 120 people, including 114 passengers and 6 crew members. The relevant work are still progressing. As to the physical and chemical lab, they have reviewed 66 documents, completing 41 documents review, and they have already confirmed that no bomb ions were detected. No other explosives components have been found in the lab. And also in the region, there are other staff members helping. The Civil Affairs Bureau has also been keeping those objects and remains. The Natural Resource Department completed the 68 square kilometers geological survey and assessment. And the radar inspection work is going on in the core areas, covering about 1,500 square meters. And the result of the inspection has been delivered to the headquarters. And for other geological and weather disasters, they have been given 5 warnings in the past days. And for the emergency equipment and on-site surveillance and other work help us to map out the situation. They also analyzed the stability of the slopes so that the exploration will have some reference. The health and sanitation departments step up their disinfection of the core areas. For the staff members in the core areas, they have very clear instructions, including the requirements of those people getting in and out, and the practitioners of the disinfection work. They have already clarified the means of using the disinfectants and the procedures of disinfection. For the hospitals, the washrooms, plazas, and the garbage positions and the surroundings of the core areas, the condolence positions and temporary washrooms and other key areas, there are very thorough disinfection. Disinfection area is 3,500 square meters. And more disinfectants have been dispatched. For those people living in core areas, they have to go through a disinfection procedure. Thank you. Now, Deputy Mayor Su will brief us about the pandemic prevention and control situation. Please allow me to brief you about the pandemic. Since the outbreak of this crash, we are committed to people-orientedness and life comes first. We coordinated the work of pandemic prevention and emergency response. We have been committed to stringent requirements and the humane factors behind this accident. Right now, in the whole city, the pandemic has been under control. First of all, certain guidelines have been introduced about pandemic prevention and control. The Emergency Response Command Center organized experts to map out the guidelines about pandemic prevention and control. And for the on-site workers, for the rescue and search, they also have a guideline of pandemic prevention and control. And also another guideline is about the nucleic acid testing. So 5 documents are unveiled in order to intensify the pandemic prevention and control. And second, about the entrance, there are more intensified management and services in the entrance points. For example, in the airports, highway, the ports, and the high-speed railway stations, there are nucleic acid testing points for screening. Their health code, their traveling history, their negative result of nucleic acid testing must be checked. So in the air, in the waterways, and in the overland, there will be such checkpoints. Third, for the people, materials, and the environment, prevention and control work will be carried out on them. For every designated hotel, there is one panel about pandemic prevention and control. The CDC experts and the Health Commission experts will guide the hotels in such work to ensure that the designated hotels could check the 3 codes and take the temperature. For the rescuers, the tourists, and the family members, and 11 other categories of personnel, we offer the daily nucleic acid testing service. Since March the 21st, we have accumulative tests of 17,373 people, including 991 tourists' family members, and their results are all negative. In the disposal period of this crash, for the rescuers, while guaranteeing their temperature take and health check, we have a relative closed-loop management. For example, in their hotels, we have the 31 nucleic acid testing points. For the key places, there are disinfection, and the disinfection area is about 40,000 square meters. And we have a cumulative area of 38,000 square meters of disinfection. So, pandemic is in a severe situation. Since the 21st, the emergency response has received help from 20 provinces and municipalities. They come to our province in a large number, so such a mobility will cause more difficulties to our pandemic prevention and control. So here, I would love to warn our civilians to continue the protective measures, for example, wearing facial masks, keeping a social distance, health monitoring, and so on. Please avoid gathering of population and take nucleic acid test immediately and abide by the other prevention and control measures. For those people from the society concerned about this accident, you could get the knowledge through the news. Please do not come to the site unless necessary. For all those arriving tourists, if you have to come, we advise you that for the close contacts and their close contacts, or if you have the yellow codes or red codes, please do not come to us. And secondly, within the 48 hours since your arrival, you have to provide your nucleic acid testing negative result, and your health code must be green, and your traveling history must not involve traveling to the intermediate risky areas and high risky areas. Third, every day we will advise you to monitor your health conditions. Ever since your arrival, you must show your Guangxi version of health code, traveling history, and nucleic acid testing results within the past 48 hours, and coordinate with the local authority in terms of the health management and closed-loop management, and accomplish your temperature take and nucleic acid test in line with the requirements. And before you're leaving, you have to take another round of nucleic acid test within the 48 hours before leaving. And during your journey, before arriving in your destination, you have to do your self-protection and continue to abide by the sanitation or social distancing requirements. As to the details, you could advise Wuzhou City CDC branch. The telephone number is 0774386725. Thank you, Madam Su. Right now, the pandemic prevention and control is the precondition for all others. But anyway, we will have a combination of online and offline system to inform you of the updates. So I would love to thank all of you for your understanding. Meanwhile, we hope that while you are working here in Wuzhou, everything will be fine with you. Next, we will invite several responsible people to respond to two concerned topics of the media groups. The first question is, many people are concerned about the situation of the family members of those affected people in the airplane. Mr. Liu Xiaodong will take the question. In this accident, 9 crew members have lost contact with us. In those days, many colleagues and peers have shown their condolences to the crew members. And as to their family members, ever since the outbreak of this accident, the Yunnan branch of China Eastern Airlines have set up a special panel to do condolence work to the family members of the 9 crew members. They dispatched professionals to do some psychological help, and our corporation has dispatched people to pay visit to their doorstep to help the actual problems and life issues of their family members. Meanwhile, people from different circles of life have shown their support and their care. I myself used to work in Yunnan branch as well. At this moment, I believe all of the staff members in the China Eastern Airlines must share my feelings. To the crew members and to their family members, we are with you. We hope that we can help you to go through this toughest time. The second question, in this search and rescue work, what technological equipment has been used, and how could those equipment increase efficiency of the search and rescue and reduce difficulty of the work? Now, I would love to invite Bao Qingbing to answer the question. As to the equipment and technology application in the search and rescue, on the 21st, ever since we received the instruction of search and rescue, Guangxi branch has dispatched chemical disinfectant vehicles and other vehicles in the number of 164. We also dispatched 20,000 sets of supplies. In the early days, we have a combination of air support and overland search equipment. In the air, we have drones, and the thermal imaging modules are installed on the drones to pave the way for modeling. To have a zoning of the search areas, we have to have such reference. And on the land, we have the radar and the handheld thermal imaging equipment with the super bandwidth radar and the ultra-red infrared ray equipment. We hope to get rid of the geological risks and the weather conditions. We also have some firefighters with their capability of the seismic-proof technologies. For example, we have the ropes to set down the personnel through the slopes. And we also have the octopus equipment. We also dig deep into the mud, and there are some hydraulic oil found in the mud and some other combustion materials. That's why we have to inspect the on-site hazardous gas just in case of any secondary disaster. Right now, all of the data show that this region is in a safe circle. And to solve the problem of waterlogging because of the heavy rain, we have the mechanical pump. About 1,500 cubic meters of water has been pumped out to guarantee the normal progressing of the search and rescue. As to the narrow lanes and the muddy roads causing difficulty to the entrance of the heavy machines, the Firefighting Bureau and Guangxi firefighting team dispatched 3 transportation vehicles to transport the objects and the supplies. Those all-terrain vehicles, ATVs, have strong capabilities, solving the efficiency problem of supplies transportation and in a safe manner. With the progressing of the rescue work, based on the on-site change, we keep readjusting the firefighting level, and we also dispatched some drugs, tents, pumps, and other machines. 3 disinfection stations have been installed. 6,000 people have received the disinfection, and 6,000 sets of equipment have been sent. Now let's open the floor to the other questions. Please identify yourself. From Guangxi TV. Now, as to the condolences and the arrangement of the family members of the passengers, what are the measures and how do you conquer the difficulties? What is the need of those family members of the passengers? Let's give the question to Mr. Liu Xiaodong. Recently, we have done the following measures to cope with the aftermath of the disaster. For example, we accompany them, we have health support, psychological support, and information sharing. The family members of those lost passengers come from different provinces. They are sporadic in distribution, and there are a lot of things to be done about our service guarantee. Since we contact all the family members within 24 hours since the accident, we cannot meet all the needs of all the passengers' family members within such a short time being, but our government and the social circles have been supportive, helping us to solve a lot of pragmatic problems. As I have been introduced before, for every household, we set up a team of 3 professionals. For the provinces and municipalities relevant to that family, the China Eastern Airlines branch will be responsible for the engagement, and local government has been supportive of those households. Together, we help them to ensure psychological support, accompanying condolences, pandemic prevention and control, transportation needs, and others. We hope to help the family members go through this disaster, and we are intently paying attention to the family members' psychological needs and conditions, and we took targeted measures to help them. We will go all out to cope with the aftermath of this crash. In the past few days, the family members have been understanding and cooperative. We are deeply grateful to them. Next question.
Thank you. Bloomberg News. Can we ask, are there any more details about the piece of the aircraft that landed some 10 kilometers away from the main wreckage? And what is this piece and how did it arrive there? Also, we'd like to ask, are there any more pieces found elsewhere that came from the plane that aren't in the main wreckage? Thank you.
请现场翻译一下。
你好，我是来自美国彭博社的记者。我的问题是，有关在事故核心区10公里外的地方发现了着陆碎片，可否提供更多的细节？为什么这些碎片会出现在这里？是否在现场还发现了其他不属于飞机残骸的碎片？
这个问题我们请朱涛主任回答。
Mr. Zhu Tao.
事故调查组在确定失事飞机主要
While
撞击点后
identifying the main crash sites of the
根据现场情
airplane,
况，以该
the
点为中
staff
心，将半径30米
has
范围
taken
设
30
定为
meters
核
as
心
the
区。
radius, and
该区域
that region
采
was
取
identified
逐
as
层
the
挖掘
core area.
逐层清理
So they
的
will
方式
dig
开展工
into
作
that core
将
areas
主要撞击点
in
半
different
径
layers.
300米范围
And within 3
设定
meters
为重
distance,
点区域。
that's the key
该
area
区
of
域由消防救
search,
援、
and the
土木警战士
firefighters and the
配合调
policemen
查
will
人
be
员
responsible
开展拉网式搜寻，
for the search and
并
rescue.
根据需要
And
采取部分挖掘
in
方
line
式。
with any needs,
另外，
they will
外
have
围区域
partial digging.
主要根
And
据
in
目
the
击者提
outer
供的线
areas,
索进行
there
逐
will
一排查。
be another round of search
3
and
月
screening
24日
based on
10点左
the
右，调查
witnesses'
组接到通报，
information.
一位
On
藤
March the
县
24th,
藤州镇鸭岗村村民
one villager from
报告
Yadang village of
在水田
Tengxian
中
County
发现一
reported
块
that
疑似
in
飞机
the
残骸
water he found
后
a
调查人员
suspect piece
在位于
of
核心
wreckage
区
from
域
the
以西
airplane.
约
And
12
then,
公里的
in
水田
about
中
12
发现一
kilometers on the
块
west side of
长
that
度约
position,
1.5米
another
宽
1.5
约
meters
4到8厘米的弧形残片，
piece
残片
of
为铝
wreckage
合
was
金
found.
复合材料的结合体，
It's made
经
of
核实
the
确定
aluminum
为
alloy,
失事飞机
and it
易
was
烧小玉的
determined
后缘部分。
to be the later
在勘
part
验水田
of the
中残
airplane.
片的同时，
And
又有相邻
in
李
addition,
秀村村民反映，
another
在果园
villager
中
reported
发
that
现
in the
一块
orchid,
疑似残
he
片。
found a
调查
suspect
人员
piece.
在李秀村
So the
鸡头山
survey
果
man
园发现一块长约8厘米、
found
宽约
8
3
meters
厘米
long
的
and 3
长方形
meters with
复合材料残片。
square
该残片
composite
位于水田中发现残片
piece,
以北约
and that's
2.3
about
公里。
2.3
初步判断
kilometers
是
distance
水田中
to the
发
north
现弧形
of
残片
that
的。
water pond.
当前尽快找到第二个黑匣子，是我
Now,
们调查工作的重中之
It's
重。
incumbent upon us to find the
现场人员正全力
second
以赴开展
black
工作。
box, and the
一旦
on-site
有新
staff
进展，
are
我们将第一
working
时
very
间
hard. If we have any news, we are gonna share the information instantly.
请这位女士。
Next question
你好，人民日报记者
from
提问。
People's Daily.
我们看到有许多的消防救援人
A
员
lot
在
of
现场开展工
firefighters
作，
are
但是
working
我
on the
们的
site.
救援现场又
But
是在比较偏僻的乡村。
Since it's in a
想
very
请
remote
提问
village,
是我
my
们如
question
何解
is,
决这方面
how
的保
do
障问
we
题？谢谢。
ensure the supplies
这
to
个问
those
题我们还是
firefighters?
请
Now
郑熙
let's
总队
give the
长回答。
question to Mr. Zheng Xi.
事故发生后，广西消防救援总队
The
迅速
Guangxi
启动了
firefighting
应急保障响
team
应和社会联勤保
kicked
障
off
机制。我们
the
调派了
emergency
装备抢修
response
车、
system. We have
发电
the
照明车、
maintenance vehicle, the
树林
lighting
车、
vehicle,
淋浴车、
and the
盥洗
showering
车、
vehicle,
饮食
the
保障
washing
车
machines,
等各类
and the
战
catering
情保障
vehicles.
车辆
All
45
of
辆，
those
战情保
45
障人员
logistics vehicles were
141
dispatched,
编
and
成了多个保障编
140
组
firefighters were
携带
sent.
帐篷、
We
发
also
电
have
机、
another team of
移动
workers to
照
carry
明
the
灯组、照明无人机
for
等
example,
各类
the engines
保障
and
装备
the
和生活防御物资
materials and other
1万
life
件套，
necessities.
为现场救援人员
15,000
提
sets
供
of
了
those
装备抢
supplies
修、
were sent,
物资补给、
helping the on-site
饮食
workers
宿营、
with
卫生
supplies,
防疫
food,
等方面的保障。
water, and shelter,
我
and
们针对
pandemic
降雨
prevention and
天气
control.
和气
In the
温变
raining
化，
days,
为搜救人员
considering the
调配了
temperature
雨衣、雨具、
decline, we also
防寒
dispatched
及
some
干爽
raincoats
的换洗
and
衣
the
物
cold-proof
4400
clothes
余件套，
in the number of
保主
4,400
预
sets of clothes.
确保
And we hope to
参战人员
guarantee that
吃上
all
热
of
饭，
those staff
喝上热
members
水，
could
穿
have
上干衣，
access to clean
以良
drinking
好
water
的体力
and
精力
warm
投
clothes
入到
so
紧
that
张
they
的
could be in a
搜
good
寻搜救
condition
工作当中去。
when they are searching and
为
rescue.
了做好救援及战情保障，昨
And
天
in
应
addition,
急部消
yesterday,
防救援局 从直属北京、成都的物资储备库以及合作
The
的企业
emergency
紧急向我们
department
一线调运了
has asked
1兆
Beijing
人
to send
30
us
套
30
手
sets of
提强光
tents
照明灯
and
200把，抢
200
险救援服下绑
flashlights,
600套，抢险救援手套
600
600
rescue
副，
clothes,
抢险救援靴
600 pair
600
of
双，
gloves,
消防雨
600
衣
pair of
500
shoes,
套，
and
医用
500
防护服
raincoats,
1000套，
and
医用
1,000
橡胶
medical
手套
purpose
1000套，
protective
医用
clothes,
鞋套
1,000 medical
1000双，
purpose
医
gloves,
用护目
1,000
镜
medical purpose
500副
boots,。and
同时
500
启动了
goggles.
空中
We
和
also
陆
have
路
kicked off the
应急运输
in-air
的保障
and
机制，
overland
所有的装
emergency
备今天已经
response
陆续
mechanisms. So
运
all
抵
the
一线。
equipment have
谢谢。
arrived in the first
今
line.
天的新闻发
That's
布
the
会
end
到此结
of
束，
today's
谢谢大
presser.
家。
Thank you.